Coming up on Sports Paws, women's soccer wrapped up their non-conference play. See how they did.
And the volleyball team traveled down to Northern Virginia for the George Mason Invitational. Q30 reporters are here to break it down to see how they did and what to expect in the future.
And we have everybody's favorite top 5 plays featuring some SportsCenter top 10 that you don't want to miss.
All that and more on Sports Paws starting right now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports Paws. I'm Brianna Trachtenberg.
And I'm Eli Ehlers. There was plenty of action in Quinnipiac sports this past week, so let's get right into it. Breaking news to start the evening out of M&T Bank Arena. The men's ice hockey team has reportedly hired Rick Bennett as its new assistant coach behind the bench. Bennett previously coached at Union, where he coached for 17 years while winning a national championship in 2014. He also coached professionally in the ECHL for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Bennett will replace Mike Corbett, who went to the sunny Arizona State to be an assistant coach for Arizona State University. Corbett served under Rand Pecknold for 3 seasons.
The women's soccer team hosted their final non-conference game of the season on Wednesday. On Wednesday afternoon, the Quinnipiac Bobcats took on the LIU Sharks in their final non-conference game of the season. Prior to the game, there was a moment of silence in remembrance of the events that occurred on 9/11. Now, midway through the first half, following a free kick attempt, Ella Gagno is in the right place at the right time to find a loose ball in the box, and make no mistake, she makes it 1-0 Bobcats. Now, don't blink or you might miss it. 24 seconds later, following a Sharks turnover, Morgan Cooper finds Courtney Choco, who puts it up front in the bottom corner for the 2-0 lead. That's going to be the score now going into the second half. Less than 10 minutes in, Choco finds Tally Lyon with loads of space and deposits a shot from 30 yards out off the post for the 3-0 lead. Later on in the half, Melina Bronco takes a ball down the wing and shows off the magic footwork to get past her defender. But the Sharks goalie Keely Thomas is here to make one of her 12 saves. 3-0 would be your final score as the Bobcats win their final game before entering mat play. Gagno, Choco, and Lyon get the goals while Gwen Hoyt records her first career shutout win. Before the game, the women's soccer team took a moment of silence to honor 9/11. Women's soccer beat reporter Brady Moreland has more on the story.
I told them today, I said, listen, you weren't alive, but you just gotta, when they have the moment of silence, you just gotta pause. This is, for those of us that sort of lived through it and what it meant to the country.
Despite none of the players being alive for the attacks, it still hits home for players like Madison Mandler.
My uncle is New York police, so I feel like it's a big thing in my family. I come from a family of cops, and I was born in 2002, so I wasn't, but especially being from Jersey and being so close, just hearing all about it, I think it's great that they do it before the game. We take a moment of silence and stuff just to honor everyone, and it makes you realize just being on the field, how special it is and stuff. I feel like I'm just so proud to have family members that do that for our country and stuff. Some of my cousins are even following in his footsteps, and it's really important to me.
Head coach Dave Clark has always talked about being an educator on the field, but when given the opportunity, always makes sure to educate the team on historical events.
We've taken them to Ground Zero. We've taken them to Shanksburg. When we played St. Francis and Mount St. Mary's. I always try to plan a game where they get that history lesson. So when we were in DC and Georgetown, it's great that we played them, but they all had to choose a museum. So a group went to the Holocaust Museum, a group went with me to the African American Museum, and then the Science Museum for all the engineers with Jamie. But we want them to do that, because you can't be just driving to DC, get on the bus, leave, we played Georgetown, then leave. If it's no, then we're not teaching them anything. So, and it's important with 9/11 too, that they understand that it's just not a bookmark and, it's not September 11th, what's it mean? No, a lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people subsequently lost their lives because of what we had to do after the fact. They need to understand that.
As you can tell from the players and coaches, today is more than just a game. And the memories from today will never be forgotten. For Q30 Sports, I'm Brady Mullen.
On Tuesday, the men's soccer team hosted in-state non-conference rival Central Connecticut State University. Quinnipiac exploded on the offensive third of the pitch. Both William Hollum and Benjamin Pella recorded their first collegiate goal in a Bobcat uniform. Noe Cabezas had himself a day, putting 2 in the back of the net, with one of them being a phenomenal bicycle kick. Bobcats had 4 different goal scorers and 10 players who received at least 1 point in the game. Following Cabezas' stellar performance, Q30's Beckett Calkins has more on how Cabezas has stepped into his role as captain.
When you think of bicycles, you may not think of the soccer field, but Noe Cabezas had his foot on the pedal for the Bobcats as they defeated the CCSU Blue Devils on Tuesday. Cabezas netted 2 goals, including 1 highlight reel score. Today's successes, he explained, were not necessarily ordinary.
My teammates are making so much fun of me and right now because I'm not used to score this kind of goal. I'm not used to score at all, to be fair, so yeah, they're making fun of me. But yeah, I think it's Miller who did a great pass for Eric in the space, and I knew exactly where Eric was going to cross, and I was at the right spot at the right time. So I guess I was a bit lucky, and it was a good finish too.
After spending a year at NC State and coming to Quinnipiac last year, Cabezas was named a captain before his second season in Hamden.
It's a lot of responsibility to be captain, but I kind of like it. I'm also the oldest, so I feel like I have to be the captain too. And yeah, I'm trying to help the freshmen, also the sophomores, the youngest. But yeah, the freshmen are doing good. They have a great mentality, and as I said, in the locker room, we are a family.
What does leadership look like for Cabezas? Let him tell you himself.
I just act like I want everyone to act, so I'm just trying to show the example, just set the standards high for this semester, and yeah, showing the example is the most important thing, I will say.
Cabezas' first-year teammate, William Hollum, explained how important Cabezas is to the squad.
He's just always set an example. Like every training, he's the first one that takes the tackle. And of course, you saw the 2 goals. That's just also one example that he always get for and set an example on the team.
Head coach Eric DaCosta has seen Cabezas' role grow not only in the locker room, but also on the pitch.
We've asked him to play in a bit more of a deeper role this year, so he's playing a bit behind the midfield too, and he was in the midfield too the year before that, so was more involved in the offensive side of the game, and now he's in a bit more of a defensive posture.
Cabezas and the Bobcats will be back in action right here in Hamden on Saturday as they look to extend their winning streak to 2. For Q30 Sports, I'm Becky Calkins.
On Saturday, the men's soccer team hosted their second game of the week against LaSalle. The back-and-forth battle between both teams ended in a scoreless tie. The Bobcats made a valiant effort, though, by outshooting the Explorers 13-10. Carl Netzel made 4 saves and had his second shutout of the season and his 9th shutout of his career. That effort helped Netzel earn the MAC Goalkeeper of the Week award. Alex Miller led Quinnipiac shooting of 2 shots and 1 shot on goal. Noe Cabezas and Philip Kingman also each had a shot on goal. Quinnipiac would take on crosstown rival Yale at home on Tuesday. Quinnipiac field hockey traveled to Easton, Pennsylvania to take on Lafayette for a Friday evening matchup. Lucia Donati started things off for the Bobcats only 9 minutes in, but from there the Leopards took over. Quinnipiac was outshot 29-8 and the offense struggled for the Bobcats. Francisca Escoya scored her 3rd goal of the year in the 3rd quarter, but Quinnipiac ended up losing 3-2 on a go-ahead goal by the Lafayette's Josephine Van Wyck. Christina Torres ended the evening with 9 saves. After their loss to Lafayette, Quinnipiac looked to bounce back in the game against Merrimack on Sunday. Coming off a loss against Lafayette on Friday, the Quinnipiac field hockey looked to bounce back against Merrimack. Merrimack has not won a game since 2022, and Quinnipiac is looking for their 2nd win of the season. Now, heading into the first quarter, it's the Francisca Escoya's power hour. The Bobcats are in a penalty corner situation. Martina Calvera sets up the play, sending the ball to Escoya, who opens up scoring for the game. This pattern continues as Calvera is once again in the penalty corner, setting up Escoya for his 2nd goal of the game. Am I having deja vu, Eli, now? As you're going to see, Calvera assists Escoya once again in her 3rd goal from the penalty corner, earning her first career NCAA hat trick. Quinnipiac up 3-0 heading into the 2nd quarter. Cameron Brower is in the insert area. She passes the ball to Kate Zamani, who gets the ball to Escoya, who finds Lucia Pompeo in her first goal of the game. Quinnipiac's up 4-0 now, And now Lucia Pompeo is awarded with the penalty stroke, and she scores the second goal of this quarter.
Beautifully placed shot by her right there.
Now going into the third quarter, Calvera is once again in the insert area, setting up a scorers for her program record, tying fourth goal of the game. With her fourth assist, Calvera set a Quinnipiac field hockey record for most assists in a game. The Bobcats win the game 7-1 against Merrimack, and they will face Providence at 3 p.m. on Friday in Hamden.
The ECAC women's ice hockey preseason poll has been announced. The Bobcats sit at number 5, receiving 82 points in the poll. The Clarkson Golden Knights hold the number 1 spot with 113 points. Last year's ECAC champions Colgate is at number 2, followed by the Cornell Big Red, who dominated Quinnipiac in last year's ECAC quarterfinal. In 4th place is the St. Lawrence Saints. Last season, the Bobcats were ranked at number 4 heading into the season. The Bobcats opened their regular season against the University of Maine Black Bears in Orono on Friday, September 27th. Now, we've got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have full coverage of the volleyball team's trip to Virginia for an action-packed George Mason Invitational. Brianna, it was an electric atmosphere down in Virginia.
I'm sure it was, Eli, and plus we've got a Q30 exclusive story about volleyball star Ginevra Giovagnoni and how much she means to the team. We'll be right back.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Yes. I do my best reaching out to my brothers and sisters in arms.
Have you ever asked for help yourself?
Most of us, we're not gonna admit that we need to help.
You don't have someone to kind of help you guide those thoughts. It can be really bad.
It's just a beautiful space when someone can trust you and say, listen, I need help.
Our stories. The warmth of our laugh. Or our family's secret sauce. We all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, and thanks for sticking with us.
The volleyball team traveled down to the George Mason Invitational. Their first matchup on day 1 of the weekend was against the Navy Midshipmen. Quinnipiac Bobcats taking on the Navy Midshipmen for the first matchup of the weekend. Alexandra Tenen getting named as a starter, and she is hyped up with her team. Moving to the first set, Pavai Kinsley Moe will set up Elena Giacomini for the feint right over the Navy blockers. Quinnipiac ahead early. Then it's going to be Milena Silva gets it on the block party, as that one is not getting past her. Quinnipiac ahead 15-8. Then it's going to be Yagmir Ganesh sending that one, and it will end up all the way in the stands. Quinnipiac would take that one. On to the second set where Milena Silva will get a quick attack right down the middle. Then it's going to be Leilani Kaijusta who gets set up perfectly for that kill that Navy cannot defend. Then to end the third set, Leilani Kaijusta gets a service ace that Navy cannot respond to. Quinnipiac takes that one 26-24 in a close second set. Third set action here, Elena Giacomini will get in on this one as she has a booming kill that goes across the court. Quinnipiac ahead in this set. Then it's going to be Yagmir Ganesh, and that one gets blocked by a Navy defender, and Quinnipiac cannot respond. Then Navy's going to follow it up with a Ava Topin kill right down the middle. Then to end the fourth set, Elena Giacomini tries to get the kill. Ava Topin will respond and send it past Giacomini for the kill. Navy then gets a service ace, and they would win that set. Quinnipiac looking to not get reverse swept here. Elena Giacomini takes over as she sends that one right down the line. Then Giacomini will get yet another one here as Navy tries to block it, but they don't have that one. And then to end the game, the Turkish twins connect. Yagner Ganesh sends that right through the defenders, and Damla jumps into her arms. Quinnipiac would take that one 3-2 as Giacomini led the way with 16 kills.
And now the Bobcats are back for their second matchup of the day, now this time facing off against Old Dominion. Damla Ganesh is getting ready. She was announced as the starter for the second matchup of the day. Moving into the first set, Damla sets up Yamir Ganesh for the kill. Bobcats ahead early on. Later on in the set, Leilani Kajusta gets herself on the board with a kill down the far sideline. Old Dominion is going to respond with a kill of their own, and Maya Conway blocks, stopping Yamir Ganesh. To end the set, Conway sends a booming spike, but it's just outside. Quinnipiac takes the first set 25-33. On to the second, where Emma Schlag goes up for the block on Yamir Ganesh. Then Melina Silver cracks a quick attack down the middle. To end the set, it's Emily Conway. She sends a booming shot past Chloe Katanui. Third set action now, as Brenna Jones says, "I'll take care of that," with a quick attack. Elisa Maggie then sends a perfectly placed ace to end the set. Old Dominion wins it 25-17. Quinnipiac trying to force 5 sets. Yamir Ganesh gets the block, then it will come back to her for the kill to put an end to the Bobcats' day. Brenna Jones sends it past Alexandra Tennant, and the Bobcats had no response. Quinnipiac's in their day going 1-1.
While down in Virginia covering the tournament, I was able to catch up with head coach Kyle Robinson about star player Ginevra Giovagnoni. Take a look.
On August 21st, 2024, Ginevra Giovagnoni was announced as the preseason MAC Player of the Year. Due to a season-ending injury, she won't be receiving that award this year.
Oh, I mean, she's done for the season. We hope to get her back for this time next year, but with these type of injuries, you never know. So we're not even looking or thinking about that with her right now. We just wanted her to have a healthy life and healthy surgery and then healthy recovery, and then we'll start thinking about the future. But right now, when it comes to G, we just wanted to be kind of feeling good about herself and not too down in the dumps because she's not playing this season.
Although Giovagnoni is not playing the rest of the year, she still is traveling with her teammates to be there to support them on through the highs and lows of the season.
This is family for her. She is family for us. And to leave her behind just because she's injured doesn't make any sense, We're going to bring all our family with us and for the support and the guidance. G is battle tested, so she's got a lot of wisdom to pass on to the younger girls. And so although she's not on the court, she's still very helpful being here.
One player who Giovagnoni has helped tremendously is Elena Giacomini. The Italian grad transfer recently came to the States, and her countrymate has been more than welcoming.
Being country women and, having some commonality to life here is huge. I think Elena, she's a unique person, right? She is going to have fun no matter what. But I think her settling in here came very quickly because she did have Ginevra.
Giovagnoni will be rooting her team on Sunday at 2:30 p.m. against the George Mason Patriots. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Eli Ehlers.
The Bobcats had one more game on their slate at the tournament down south.
And it was against a team that beat the Bobcats last weekend at William & Mary. Quinnipiac taking off against the George Mason Patriots, looking to go 2-1 on the weekend. The starters getting ready as they are hyping themselves up before this game. Moving on into the first set, it's going to be Elena Giacomini. She's going to wind up and just fake it right across the court, and George Mason cannot respond to that one. Later on in the set, Melina Silva and Elena Giacomini connect for that block. Quinnipiac ahead in this one. To put the first set to bed, Yagner Ganesh sends a service ace right down the line. Quinnipiac takes the first set 25-20. Moving on to the second set, Leilani Kajusta makes the diving dig that leads to a Elena Giacomini kill. Look at the celebration there. Then to keep the defense going, Damla Ganesh has a sliding dig that eventually leads to yet another Giacomini kill as she sent that one flying. Then the Bobcats end the set with a Yagmir Ganesh kill that goes all the way to the stands. Moving to the third set, the Bobcats looking to close it out, and Yagmir Ganesh takes flight on that one as it goes flying. Then Leilani Kaijusta gets a block, and she is head tapping the George Mason defender. Then to end it, Alexandra Tenen puts on a clinic with that block as she gets that one to end the game. Quinnipiac would win 3-0.
Following the team's 2-1 weekend down in Virginia, we'll take a deeper dive into the team's performance.
And also what to expect in the future from the team. Volleyball beat reporters Miranda Patorti and EJ Gorman have more.
Welcome to the sixth set. I'm Miranda Patorti alongside EJ Gorman, and we're going to get right into this weekend's play. The Bobcats traveled to the George Mason Invitational and were able to get their first winning tournament record since the Henson Hawk tournament last season. They first faced off against Navy, and it was looking like it might even be a 3-0 victory for the Bobcats. Just lost a little bit of key momentum in the middle there, but were able to still clinch it. And then didn't find the same luck against Old Dominion. They came in a little hot and just wasn't able to get it 1-3.
Now, despite their loss against Old Dominion, they were able to get their first 3-0 victory of the season against George Mason. Now, last invitational tournament, they did lose to George Mason, but were able to come back and win it this time.
Now, my thing is, with Ginevra Giovagoni out, who's going to step up for the Bobcats next weekend?
Now, if we look at three key players from these last tournaments, you can look at Elena Giacomini. Elena Giacomini was an absolute huge addition to the Bobcats. She was putting up 16 kills and 20 digs against her game against the Navy. Along with that, you have the Gunesh twins, Damala and Yammer. Damala is a huge player, both front row and back row, putting up 5 digs in the last 2 games and 50 assists against her game in LIU. Along with that, you have Yammer, who had 10 kills in the last 5 different games, right? So the Bobcats are also looking to keep this momentum in the Dartmouth Invitational they are heading to next week. They're looking to play Dartmouth as well as Providence. Now, Providence is a 5-3 team who has lost to URI, which is a team the Bobcats have beaten, as well as playing St. Peter's, who is a team in the MAC. They are also planning on playing Dartmouth. Dartmouth is a 4-2 team who has just lost to UConn. So the Bobcats are looking forward to seeing if they can keep that momentum alive.
All right, well, that's all the time we have today on the sixth set. Back to the desk.
We've got one last break of the night. When we come back, women's tennis named their captains for the upcoming season as Paula Miller's squad look to get back in the promised land and win the MAC.
And it's time for everyone's favorite time of the night. Top 5 plays is on deck. We've got some Sports Center moments. When we get back, Eli, don't go anywhere. Sports Paws will be right back.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will. But you don't have to do it alone, that's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back to our final stretch of Sports Paws. The men's and women's cross-country teams took a trip down 95 to compete in the Jasper Fall Invite. Q30 Spencer Decker has the breakdown of the meet performances.
Thanks, guys. The Quinnipiac men's and women's cross-country teams are back in action on campus. First, a look at the men's side as David Scravines enters his second year as a Quinnipiac head coach, but he is no stranger to coaching. It's his 26th season overall as a cross-country head coach, and he's done a great job at recruiting. 7 first-years on this Bobcat squad, including an absolute stud in Alex Saldana. He finished 14th in the meet with a sub-26 time in the 8K. Bobcats, though, finishing 9th out of the 11 teams in the Jasper Invitational. Moving over to the women's side, they did quite well as a team as they look to repeat as MAC champions. 2nd overall in the meet with a lot of acquisitions on the squad. Rachel St. Germain, Lauren Selkin, and Alessandra Savina finishing top 10 in the meet with some great times. That's all I've got here for the men's and women's cross-country teams. Their next meet, October 6th at the Paws Shore Invitational in Lehigh, Pennsylvania.
The women's tennis team has announced their leadership core. Jenna Sloan and Jordan Bradley will be the 2 team captains this year. Sloan, a graduate transfer from Gonzaga University, came to Hamden last season, but didn't play a single match due to injury. During the 2022-23 season, she finished with a 13-9 doubles record and a 10-15 singles record with the Bulldogs. She gives Paula Miller's young squad a veteran presence who has experience against high-level competition. Bradley is also a graduate student going into her 6th season with the Bobcats. Last year, Bradley ended with a 3-9 doubles record and a 4-5 singles record. The two will look to bring the team back to a MAC tennis championship after they lost to Fairfield last year.
Now, Eli, volleyball, field hockey, and soccer. Oh my, I wish there was a way to see all the best plays.
But Brianna, there is. It's time for the top 5 plays.
Now, it's play number 5. Leilani Kajuser gets up for the block. Check it out on the On Your Head celebration. She is just dominating the court out there.
Play number 4, staying on the volleyball court, the Turkish twins connect. Damla to Yagmir for the kill, right through the Navy blockers. Quinnipiac would win this one 3-2.
Play 3, men's soccer versus LaSalle. Alexandru Zalman rips a shot towards the net, but Carlo Nutson says, get that out of here, with a diving stop to preserve the
Play
shutout.
number 2, going to the field, hockey field. Francisca Escoyes will get this one. Going away, sends it back across her body, and that one will find its way in. She would tie the game at 2, but Quinnipiac would lose 3-2 against Lafayette.
Now it's play number 1. It's the play you've all been waiting for. It's no way, Noah Cabezas. It's a bicycle kick off the cross. Teammate Frederick Bone is just in awe. Take another look. Times it up perfectly and then just gets it up as business like usual.
This is all the time we have here tonight on Sports Paws, but we're not done. Coming up on Saturday, we have all the coverage of the women's soccer game against Siena, right here on Q30's Bobcat Game Day. We'll have pregame, halftime, and postgame coverage in partnership with QBSN, starting at 11:15 a.m.
Now, Eli, what is your score predictions for a Bobcat Game Day on Saturday?
This is going to be a tough call here, but I'm going to say 3-1 Quinnipiac over Siena.
Okay, so I think it's going to be a 4-0 shutout. I think Sofia Espinosa, she's going to have another shutout to start off the MAC conference play. It's going to go 4-0, against Siena.
So similar scores, but
yeah, but you have 3-1, 4-0. It's okay. But what are you most looking forward to about game day?
I think what I'm most looking forward to about game day is to be able to see everything sort of come together. Often, most schools don't have this opportunity to be able to have kids like getting to do a college game day-esque type show. So I think it's going to be really exciting to see all the content that we're able to make.
I'm definitely, I'm excited to see all the pregame, postgame, and halftime coverage. It's going to be such a great day, and I can't wait. But it's going to be electric. But thank you to everyone behind the scenes working so diligently to make Sports Paws happen. And make sure to follow both Q30 Television and Q30 Sports on social media.
For Brianna Trachtenberg, I'm Eli Ehlers. Have a restful evening, Bobcats. Good night.